Anyway, close test 14.5, not the one that comes next week, but the one that comes 1 month and 1 week. Return of asymmetric battles, second. I'm glad Wargaming has been listening to all the fantastic feedback regarding the Biasma. Second group of experimental ships and more. Welcome back to the Devil Blog, Captains. It's time to make headway into the details of update 14.5. Okay, honestly, at this point, I have to be like. I want to see. Wait. Let me search. Search limit to this channel Biasma. Okay, let's see all the positive feedback on the subreddit regarding this thing. Biasma in ranked. What the fuck, Wargaming? What were you thinking? Is it just me or is playing as not Biasma not fun? Got dev struck by Biasma by Bow and Buffalo. The Biasma is absolute plague. Biasma is extremely problematic. In what world does Orion need a nerf but something like Legmod Colombo Biasma? Biasma 2 OP in ranked. Of course it's infested with Biasma. Biasma. This game is becoming absolute dog shit. Fucking Biasma. Fuck those experimental ships. Oh, look at this. A win streak. Biasma. It, like, stop blending classes on ships. Yada 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 yada. This Biasma is bullshit. Basically, the entire, every fucking upvoted thread regarding shit like Biasma is negative. And this is Wargaming. We listen to your feedback. This is their response. Second group of experimental ships coming. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. No wonder they're trying to get people into their Discord where they can fucking moderate the discussion even more. Okay. It's time to make headway into the details of update 14.5, and with a fan favorite temporary battle type making its return, as well as the arrival of a host of exciting features. I mean, asymmetric battle is extremely popular among co-op players. They really love that shit. This one's slated to be as action-packed as they come. Let's dive right back in. Asymmetric battles, they're making a comeback. 5 players against 12 bot ships of lower tiers, fair enough. This game mode is kind of fascinating because, generally speaking, you can basically... It's still hilariously imbalanced, where playing a secondary ship is basically a trillion times easier than playing any other ship. Like, playing a battleship in this game mode is trillion times easier than playing a cruiser or a destroyer or something. It's so much easier. You can literally just run it down and kill everyone. But people are really afraid of the bots when they play their secondary battleships. You will often see BBs be absolutely terrified of pushing, battleships absolutely afraid of brawling, and often you will see people just lose. Like, this scoreboard that they're showing isn't actually uncommon at all. You see this? They've killed 4 bots, but they've lost 3 ships. They will probably lose this match. And this happens a lot. People manage to lose to these bots, so it's actually kind of impressive. Illinois is pretty good in this game mode and doesn't work with secondaries, yeah, because it's a battleship. It's a battleship with cruiser DPM without having any of the cruiser weaknesses, like being our match. Turns out that's pretty useful. Who knew? Yep. Okay. Yep, so it's making a comeback, fair enough. Let them come, teammates. Yeah, teammates are really afraid of going in and stuff. It's interesting. I'm hearing. Okay, check 1 second. I'm hearing. Worrying sounds from a certain battleship main in my bedroom. Anyways, you can play aboard tier 6 to 10 ships and super ships of all types. The maximum difference of tiers between ships in a single battle. That's look. That's look at that. Not me. Dog has officially been distracted with the bone again. We can continue. God bless. Following limitations: up to 2 battleships, up to 2 cruisers, up to 2 destroyers, no more than 1 sub, no more than 1 aircraft carrier. It's kind of wild that they always put this limit on 2 battleships for this game mode, which doesn't really make much sense because BB mains love this game mode. In fact, most people that play the game mode love playing BBs in it. Whenever you look, well, generally any fucking brawling mode, any fucking co-op mode, basically any mode you can think of in World of Warships, battleships are by a mile the most popular class. So putting this limit on them is kind of silly because why? It's a PvE game mode. Who gives a shit if there's 5 BBs? Like, for who is it a problem? No one. But what this means is you end up having to sit in queue and wait until the cruiser or destroyer slots are filled up because you can only have 2 BBs per game. Oh, never mind, it just did limit. Okay, God bless. So can you have? I think you can have. Never mind, it's just a div limit. Why is there a div limit though? Again. Why is there a division limit? This also doesn't make any sense. Why? It's a PvE mode. Why can't you run in with 5 cruisers or 5 BBs and just have fun? Why can't you try challenge yourself, go in with 5 destroyers? Who cares? Like it's a PvE game mode. You're not ruining the game for other players. You're just having fun with your team, with your friends. Why can't you run in with 5? Whatever. I don't get it. Like I've never really understood this. Like both limitations for game modes in terms of classes and division limitations, I've never understood. I think they have traumas ever since we broke their brawls. Remember when they had the 12 versus 12 brawl things and we ended up breaking them? I think they have trauma since then. Maybe to force divs to not clog the BBQ? But I mean, if you... how do they clog the queue, though? I don't know. Bots enter battle without submarines and have a mixed ship that... Oh, they finally removed subs! Even Wargaming understands that playing against subs is actually not fun. Now if they could only fucking take this knowledge, this understanding, and apply it to random battles. One of the worst things in fucking Asymmetrics was you'd kill all the surface ships and then there's a bot sub somewhere and you have to run around chasing it, which is the exact same thing that also happens in randoms. Playing against subs isn't fucking fun, wargaming. You're halfway there. You've almost reached enlightenment. Now take this understanding you have here and apply it to randoms as well. No one fucking likes playing against subs. It's uninteresting as fuck. It's a mandatory hide and seek minigame that no one fucking asked for. Remove that shit. They're almost understanding it. Almost understanding it. Second group of experimental ships. Well, they're not even close to understanding this, clearly. In update 14.5, a new group of experimental ships will be introduced. Protector, Hotaka, and Varisi. I've seen some of the ships. I think I've seen the Varisi, which is a cruiser that had more health than any battleship in the game. Seems good. These ships will be available to unlock for all players, regardless of whether they participated in or unlocked the previous group of experimental ships. Protector. Well, that is a Congress. That looks like an absolute copy-pasted Congress, which there, of course, is. Hotaka, what is that? Is that the... That's the fucking Tsurugi, isn't it? Looks like a Tsurugi. That looks like a Tsurugi. Ki? Tsurugi? It's IGN for sure, though. I mean, the turrets look like Tsurugi. Aratara? They all look kind of similar. And then, that's just a Michelangelo. That is straight up a Michelangelo. Okay. If you have not unlocked access to the experimental ships, you can do so either by using free XP or playing 10 battles in tier 9 or higher ships. Once access is granted, you'll get the components. The newcomer's strengths lie in their powerful secondary guns. Okay, these ships gain increased secondary battery range and rate of fire as they lose HP. For players who enjoy brawling and close quarters combat, they will be a great choice. Okay. Please note that all experimental ships will be removed from player accounts with the release of update 14.7. With even these, so you'll have these a much shorter time than you have the current ones. Because Vyasma's shit isn't Vyasma's removal date the same? Isn't 14.7 the deadline for these things? I'm thinking it is. Yeah, it's 14.7. So these things are being removed in 14.7 as well. Interesting. Have I, by the way, done all the experimental ships mission? I might not have. No, probably haven't done data mission. Hull Rush. Oh yeah, I haven't done the Mets one. I should. Oh yeah, I need to unlock the Mets one so I can get the other ones. That's pretty funny. We haven't bothered playing the Mets. We've only been spamming the other broken as hell ones. I mean, it's not like we need cold though. It's whatever. Okay. Okay, can we get some details on him? I'd like to see details on him. Clan Bastion Season 30, Man of War. Featuring a fresh tactical twist. Classified documents will be active this season. We intend to gather information and player feedback, and this feature might return in one of the future seasons. Okay, so I mean, this tends to be very straightforward. People find a meta and then people use that. Clan battles have been... I mean, the atrophy of clan battles is pretty brutal. The atrophy of clan battles has been pretty fucking brutal. Like, how much less the competitive game is played is pretty fucking brutal. It's actually wild. For this season, we plan to use classified documents as a balancing tool instead of the standard restrictions for overperforming ships that usually get banned or otherwise limited. But I mean, you'll still use the broken ass ship. You'll just force... Wait, what are these? These values are fucking insane. Hold up. What ship is he in? He's in a Grozoboy. These values are fucking insane. 5% damage, but 60% HE pen. Huh? And minus 10% secondary. I mean, no one is gonna fucking run poison, but aren't these values like kind of cracked? Like these magical spells? What have they blurred? I'm not sure what they blurred. They blurred something. I'm curious what it is. That's fucking wild. Actually pretty fucking wild, right? Classified documents can be chosen against specific ships on opposing teams during the pre-battle countdown. The default amount of classified documents a ship can use is 2. However, depending on the ship's strength and clan battles, it may be limited 1 or even 0. Okay. Can't wait to test this classified documents in randoms. God bless. Each document grants buffs tailored against a specific ship. A classified document against Conqueror will increase your damage from all armaments by 10 when fired at Conqueror, and reduce the risk of catching fire from guns by minus 40%. Damage to your citadel with AP and Seption. Wait, a classified document in Austin will increase your damage from all armaments by 10% against Austin. Damage to your citadel with AP and Septions by 20%. What are these fucking... What the... What am I watching? So, but like so much shit that you normally calculate on, you have to throw out the window because you don't know what documents people are using. Normal, like trades you normally might win. Like usually you play a flank, you see a ship, and you're like, okay, I can fight that ship and win. But you don't know if it's running a document against you or not. If he happens to be running a document against you, then suddenly this fight that you thought you were going to win, you're actually going to end up losing because he's got this giga balancing document and you had no idea who was using it, you had no warning. So this just adds a shit ton of uncertainty. Like, what the fuck? It's actually pretty wild. Louisiana, Hildebrand, Commissar and Hildebrand cannot be taken to battles. Again, Wargaming, you're almost figuring it out. You're almost figuring it out. No restrictions needed, by the way. Yeah. For this season, we plan to use classified document as a balancing tool instead of substandard restrictions for performing ships. Funny, but you're still fucking restricting all forms of plane spotting. Think, Wargaming, think! What might this mean? You're not even banning small on this season, but you're banning fucking plane spotting. Think, Wargaming, what might this mean? What might this mean? Might it mean that perhaps plane spotting is pretty fucking broken when even 7 Unicums working together can't fucking counterplay it? Think. They're so close to figuring something out, but goddamn. Imagine going through all this just so you don't have to balance your game, and it. Classified documents for operations with flagships. Okay. Level 1, attack capabilities. The Torpedo Master Cruiser based on the level of classified documents. Okay. Torpedo damage, defense. Okay, the level 3 is pretty insane. Completing all dedicated missions. Yada yada, sounds like a lot of grinding, but I guess people who like operations enjoy that. Wargaming. You're banning subs, you're banning CVs, and you're banning all forms of plane spotting from clan battles. I'd like Wargaming. I'd like you to think for a second. If in a 7 versus 7 format, where 7 people communicating through voice comms and playing together for years are incapable of countering in any way subs, CVs, and plane spotting, then could you perhaps explain your justification for allowing these classes to take part in ranked, where it's also 7 people, but in comparison, they're not super unicums, they're just average players, and there's no fucking communication whatsoever. If the super unicums playing together are unable to counter this bullshit, what makes you think that the fucking random people with no communication have any chance against it? Think. I know this is very hard for your wargaming, but think. Imagine how much better your game could be if you fucking put some thought into it. Imagine how hypocritical it is to acknowledge how brutal plane spotting is, but on purpose not banning it from randoms. Yeah, not banning it from ranked is even more brutal, because like in randoms it's 12 versus 12, so it's somewhat fucking diluted, but in ranked when it's like 7 versus 7, 6 versus 6, 5 versus 5 and shit, it's so oppressive. It's so oppressive, because he constantly keeps vision of everything at all times. It's hilariously broken. And the maps are just as large for some fucking reason as well. Content additions and changes. There's no shortage of new content coming with update 14.5. Okay, here's what you can look forward to. GQ Johnny, a tier 9 destroyer based on the heroic USS Johnston, enters the game with a battle-scarred hull and historical flair. Wait, are they reselling the Johnston? Are they reselling the Johnston with a new camo? Wow, no shortage of new content. The GQ Johnny owners will get a bonus. Access to a new 4-piece still standing collection. Okay. Completion of this collection will award players with Commander Ernest E. Evans with enhanced skill. So, the fucking legendary Evans. Is Evans is gonna be behind a paywall, isn't he? So now you get Johnston with Ernest Evans, but you couldn't get it on the original Johnston that they sold? Holy shit. That's pretty fucking brutal. On top of that, 4 new commanders are joining the fray. Marina Carmen Fernandez and Ruby Monroe, Clint R. Fletcher, and John L. Borden, as well as Experimental Ships Group 1 flag. Additionally, a new pin-up summer permanent camo has been added. Okay. It's very summery. I'll give you that. Two new enemy destruction effects. Triple detonation. So what, instead of 1 explosion here, it's like 3 puffs? Sure, it's just bigger. As Kensu said, the Evans is going to be like John Doe. Look at the waterline. Oh, wait, that looks really little, actually, now that I look at it. Because they kind of just copy-pasted the middle part on the sides, but the problem is it overlaps the model, so you got these weird flames in the water. Or is it like intentional burning oil they're trying to? There's also 1 ripple, but it's what, 3 explosions? Like, there's only the ripple from this explosion, but there's no ripple from here, so I think they just copy-pasted one of the puffs and put it here and here, and then they didn't really add anything else. The ripple is kind of... oh, whatever. Whatever. I mean, it's... okay, what's this? Oh, is this like a cartoon, like knocked out type of thing? Pretty unique. Aren't these optional? You can turn them off, right? So, fair enough. Willem the Eerste, the upcoming Tier 10 battleship, will get a second set of airstrike with aircraft-based ASW, as promised in the devlog where the ship was announced. Surely that means the other ships will get it as well then, right? To be fair, buffing Gutenlu and Utrecht is not necessary though, but still. Anything that fucks subs should be added. Several containers will receive an update to their content with this update. Okay, firepower? Are they adding some ships to the container? What, 5% chance? Are they adding some ships to this or what? Incheon! Whoa, what the fuck? Incheon is in this list. Incheon are in the firepower containers now. Holy shit. I have all the other ships. This might be my way. Actually, I don't think I have the defense. This might be a way to add a defense of Incheon. Interesting. Wings of Freedom container. What did they add here? Not much, I think. Premium container? Not much. Do I have the U-451? I might not have the U-451 either. Battle of Paso de Patria. Premium container? Fair enough. Wait, so much... Bro... So many containers! Hey guys, there's no shortage of new content coming to the game. Here's a copy pasta ship and fucking 50 containers. And... no shortage of new content. Oh my god. Really? World of fucking containers? Incheon will be added to the armor. Really? For what resource? No shortage of new containers. Jesus. But, do we get the stats on these fucking things? Why don't we get the stats on these? Why do we not get the stats on these things? Have we already covered? Have we already shown the stats on this? They covered them a while ago, but have they posted anything new regarding them? We have this, but isn't this really old? It's Provorny. Luska. Protector. Oh yeah, they did cover them ages ago. But isn't this like a long time ago? Haven't they changed a lot? Actually, this was in January. Or maybe they haven't. The Protector was, had fucking 68k? Thank you, Big Gimbals, by the way, for the 34 months. So Protector had 68k health. But it was basically a Congress. They nuked burst fire on them? Yeah, I think they killed nuke burst fire on them a long time ago. Hotaka had 95,000 HP, tier 9 by the way. With basically the same fucking secondary buff as Libertad. Gonna be interesting to see what they do with the... What was the secondaries on this thing? 8k base range. Oh yeah. And Varese was 102,000 health. Holy shit. 102,000 health cruiser, by the way. Michelangelo. It gets range and reload. God damn. And it shoots sap secondaries, doesn't it? Yeah, sap secondaries with increased range. Bro, what the fuck? See, I think, yeah, they are. Are they on ship tools now? But ship tools isn't gonna be that accurate because it's missing their bullshit modifier, the 30% DPM and 30% DPM and then the 16% range. I mean, it's already like, look how much better it's already than Michelangelo though, because the hitting DPM might be less, but look at the range, 8.3. And then you consider the fact that it's going to have 16% more range with the modifier and then 30% more DPM. It's going to be some absolutely insane values. Wait, where the fuck is my dog? Nelson, what is that? What is that? Ei, tästä on puhuttu. Ei. Tuu nyt sieltä. No niin, Nelson, tuu pois sieltä. Tuu. Tuu pois sieltä. Tuu. Nelson. No niin, tuu pois. Okei. Terrorist. No niin, Nelson. Tuu pois sieltä. Ei oo sun paikka. Tutu. Ei oo sun paikka. Wave goodbye to chat. Yep. Söit sä sun luomaa? Taisit syödä. Sä annat hengä. Sorry about that. Terrorist. The cable guy. Okay, so but yeah, the buff here is gonna be insane. What was the other one? They were all secondary, weren't they? Hotaka here. It's gonna be the Hotaka. We don't really see Nelson A. And then we have, what's the other one called? How far will Varisi reach with the air gunners? I'm not sure. It's gonna be very far. Nelson, et nyt perkele mene sinne uudestaan. Nelson. Hey. Bro, how am I supposed to go? Hey. Nyt. Hey. I'm actually gonna have to lock this terrorist out. Nyt loppu. App. Älä luulekaan. Nyt odotat siellä. Älä luulekaan. Actual terrorist. But yeah, no. How much range will they get? 14.5 games? So it's gonna be all Libertad all over again. That's wild. It's actually wild. That is actually wild. No, Nelson, nyt vitussa on menossa sitten. Noniin, nyt loppu. Okay, it's time to close the door all the way up. Älä luulekaan. Actual terrorist. The White Death, right here. Nelson needs his own stream. He'll manage. Okay, let's see. There we go. Even Nelson gets a bad plane spotting. It's true. Nelson understands. Okay. I put a gate in front of my door now so he can't get in. Man is a verified terrorist, though. I'll give him that. Getting close quarters medal for 14.5. Oh yeah, it's actually pretty funny that the achievement is called close quarters. You're killing people from 15 kilometers away. That's more than the main gun range of many ships. Close quarters. It's actually really demented. Pretty funny, but really demented.